Good day, my name is Christelle from France de Klerk, Independent Technical Analyst. Willem wanted us to look at Bitcoin. Now, Willem, we can see that last year that inverse head and shoulder formation that started here in September did did spark this massive rally that we have seen. A small pullback confirmed a bullish, a flag formation, and ever since then, the high of Bitcoin was at 85,354. Very interesting, this week's candle that is developing is a little bit bearish, but take note that the tail at the bottom of this candle implies that the buying power are still here. Technically, only above 58,354 can we assume that the momentum to the top can continue. And as soon as 44,845 changes into a resistance, we can assume that the top of Bitcoin will be in place. Keep in mind, it is obviously overbought, extremely overbought, and it's about to give us a negative divergence, and the divergence will be on the table when this blue line breaks through the orange line, and that might be an indication to bank profit. But we know at the moment, as long as the interest and the sentiment remains positive, the next target, and let's maybe give you a target, and I'm going to use a Fibonacci level here, it's a recent high to a recent low, and that tells you the next possible target on Bitcoin is 77,306. But then, as I've said, that 58,354 level needs to change into a support. Strong support levels to the bottom, 46,654, 43,037, and 39,420. It will be very interesting to see if this lamp pole formation, that massive, too fast, too soon, too steep incline that we've seen on Bitcoin will last for a longer time. Ishmael wanted us to look at Ascendis Health, a share that has been very difficult to trade for the last couple of years because of the thin volume on it. But we've spoken previously, Ishmael, one, about that possible window at the top. Windows on weekly graphs, and these are weekly graphs, are always nice targets for upside. The rules around windows are they always get closed. It can take days, months, or decades, but at some stage, the price action has to close this gap, which is waiting between R2.85 and R2.61. This gap there needs to close at some stage. Now, at the moment, this descending triangle has confirmed, and that was when that level of 70 cents changed into a resistance. And a descending channel is a negative formation when the lower band starts to change into a resistance. And that tells us that the momentum to the bottom can continue. But what we can do is we can use the low of this candle to say that, and I'll tell you now what the date was. That was on the 26th of October 2020. Below 52 cents, I'll be more worried about Ascendis Health. And first thing, above 70 cents, you can take a sigh of relief, because then it might be the turnaround for Ascendis that we have been waiting for. Why? Because then this support will be a little bit higher than this support, which is a little bit higher than this support. And that implies higher lows, which will be seen as very positive. The next strong resistance to overcome is obviously that high of 91 cents. So above 91 cents, we can assume that this beautiful possible cup and handle formation can come into play. And take note there, Ishmael, my red line, that 40-week moving average is waiting very closely to that upper band of the descending channel, and that is waiting at 74 cents. It tells you how important that resistance level is that needs to change into a support in order to believe that the share can turn around maybe back to that resistance of 91 cents. Willie wanted us to look at BRIT, a share that also volume. And I looked here and I saw that there was a spike in volume, or more volume than if we look back previously. So lots of volume since last year, March, have been visible on BRIT. Now, Willie, if a share has volume and the price continues to rise, it implies that the sellers have dried up and that there are only buyers left. At the moment, on BRIT, The 40-week moving average has changed into a resistance, and we've seen lower levels since December last year, and that is seen as negative. I want to show you the possible, it's played out already, so I must call it a double top formation. On BRIT, that was formed here from last year, September, 21st of September, made the first loop, found a trout there back in the 23rd of November, and another loop. And then on the 11th of January, when that level of 3.34 changed into resistance, it took the share a lot lower. Now, on a line graph, my closing price was R2.48. Below R2.48, we can assume that the momentum to the bottom on BRIT can continue. But as long as R2.48 remains a support, we can assume that maybe this will be the bottom of the share. It is nicely oversold. However, take a look there, Billy. My blue line, the K line, is still pointing downwards. You want that blue line to start to turn around above breakthrough upwards through your orange line. You want to wait for confirmation of your divergence. Along with that, you want to see a turnaround candle, a possible turnaround candle. And it can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be green, but it needs to show you that, one, the share has stopped making lows, it's found support, and there's long tails at the bottom of the candles with green candles showing every day or every week it's starting to make new recent highs. At the moment, the momentum to the top is in place. First sign of strength on BRIT will only be below R2.93, and the strong resistance that needs to be overcome is waiting at R2.85. Something I must just maybe mention, Billy, you didn't, like just some a note at the bottom of the page, is if you've got it, often to sell the share, if you're just tired of it and want to just take your loss and get out, this is the worst place to do it. You don't want to sell your share when it's oversold, in oversold territory. You want to do it when it's overbought. So maybe, I don't know where the share is going, but maybe just hold on a little bit. To sell a share when it's oversold is often the very worst place to do it. Jan wanted us to look at the cryptocurrency Cardano, ticker ADAUSD. Now, I see a lot of the other Ethereum graphs look very similar. But I must be honest, Jan, this is the longest tail on any instrument that I've ever seen. And that is extremely, extremely bullish. I mean, this tail is 600% long. It almost makes it impossible to trade it. But it is extremely bullish. I mean, the low this week was 15 cents and the high was $1.15. So extremely, extremely bullish tail, but a very, very dangerous lamp pole formation. We can see that the steep was fierce and the incline was very steep. So, I mean, it is a clear lamp pole formation. And a lamp pole formation is sometimes a dangerous formation because it means the foundation on which it has been planted is not deep enough. So should the selling pressure come in, it often destroys everything and more in its place when it turns around. And we can see it, I mean, in 1 week, massive volatility here. I would consider it extremely difficult to trade it. I mean, you have massive stop losses or, resistance levels, massive levels. Unless you don't hold it and keep it, I don't know how you're going to trade that instrument. Unless you want to use tighter levels like 84 cents and 66 cents. But I mean, let's just have a look at what your average true range on this instrument is. At the moment, it is 18 cents. I mean, which makes it extremely difficult to identify entry and exit levels. But it's bullish. Where can it go? I mean, we can use the Fibonacci level to identify where the possible targets is for this Cardano cryptocurrency. And that will be as soon as it starts to consolidate above $1.19. And the next possible target is $1.83. First sign of weakness will be below 96 US cents and then below 79 US cents. Dangerous formation, very dangerous, but I assume you're a brave man, Jan. Rian wanted us to look at RENN. Ticker on our exchange, REN. We've seen a beautiful, and I want to go back to a line graph here, Rian, because we can clearly see that there was a beautiful cup and handle formation that has been confirmed, and look how beautiful it was tested. And that is, I love when that happens in technical analysis. It goes, tested that trend line at 50.99, retraced a little bit, and then immediately broke it into a support again. And that is very bullish. It is a beautiful technical goodbye kiss, where it tested it, break through it, and it just confirms that, listen, I'm in business and I want to take, the buyers mean business and they want to take the share higher. So what is the conservative target of this cup and handle? It's the length of the handle projected upwards from the neckline where it has been confirmed. And that means the conservative target is 20 Rand 47. My full target on RENN is the full length of the cup projected upwards from the neckline where it has been confirmed, means it's around 22 Rand 29. Remember, the targets of the formations is not a definite, it's only possibilities. My first sign of weakness will obviously be below 15.99. My red line, my 40-week moving average has changed into a support, and that is still a support. So we can clearly see the momentum to the top is in place. It's on a brand new record high. And the first sign, and let's go back to a candle graph, of weakness, if you want to use a tight protection level, will be 1880 or that high of 1778. Below those levels, maybe consider taking profit, assuming that you are in profit, but the momentum to the top is clearly in place.